showed the other day because we made it at our team meeting. So it is a fun little fancy fold. You could also have it go open this way, or really you could have it open this way, which we could maybe do today. I think our paper could work that way. Anywho, let's give it a whirl and see what's what. So what you need for this card is a piece of cardstock 4 1/4 by 11. Okay, and we are going to go ahead and score and or fold at 5 1/2. So you can score and fold or just fold. And then we are going to cut half of that off. Hello, Meredith. You know this card. Okay, so now that we have scored and fold, we want to cut half of this off. So half of 5 1/2 is 2 3/4, if you did not know that. And I know this only because I have done the math. Okay, so 2 3/4 is half of that cut off. So you want to do that. The other option, which I know some of the group were going to try, was to not cut all of that off and have it be a little gift card holder. I am choosing, obviously, not to do that. The second part of our card, same color cardstock, or I suppose you could use different. This one is 8 1/2 by 3 1/4. 8 1/2 by 3 1/4. So we're gonna fold that in half. This is gonna make our fancy fold. So now we are left with still 3 1/4, folks. 3 1/4 by 4 1/4. So we want a piece of basic white or very vanilla, depending on what sort of DSP you're using, to line the inside of this. I'm just wondering if I had a piece that was the right size. I do not. So this is going to be 3 by 4. Okay. So you're cutting this 3 by 4. So you have a couple of options here. You could cut 2 of these and also use it on the outside. So you could also have a piece of basic white on the outside. I am going to put DSP there. So this is 3 by 4. It is going to go on the inside of our card. Sorry, I'm mildly distracted. We got a new furnace today, and now I hear like some weird water noises down here. So it's kind of freaking me out. So the way this card is designed is to go like this. But like I said, you could have it go like this, or you could have it go like this. We are going to decorate both this part and this part. So this is our card base. So the only thing about this card is if you make it how it is prescribed, it doesn't stand up. So if you give this to someone, they can't put it on their mantle as a beautiful Christmas card. If it's this way, it will stand up. So keep that in mind if you want them to be able to display it. Now, I'm thinking if we change this around, because I was kind of thinking I like this look, but it's not going to work with this, the way I've cut this DSP. It would be, yeah, it doesn't really work with any of the DSP. So we're going to stick to the original, folks, but you could switch it. Just know that, okay? I might stamp on the inside. That's the only reason I'm not gluing that down at the moment. Okay, so let's kind of put some bits together and you'll kind of see what's going on. So this piece of DSP that is going here on the front is 2 1/2 by 4. 2 1/2 by 4, because this piece is 2 3/4 by 4 1/4. Right, so everything's just come in a quarter. Now, if you're wondering what this paper is, for anyone who is not a Stampin' Up! Demo who watches my videos, this is the new Fitting Florets DSP. I think that's what they called it. Fitting Florets, yeah, this beautiful DSP. So this is the DSP that I am using in my framed and festive class to go. So you only have until tomorrow at noon to register for this class. It's 4 designs, and you will make 8, 2 of each. Okay, so we've got that lovely pattern on. And then I have this other pattern. And if you are on Instagram or any of the things, you're seeing this paper and you're seeing people color these berries. So you're seeing it left like this with the beautiful white, or you're seeing people using their blends to color these berries red, which I kind of thought maybe we would do, but I'm not too sure. So in this card here, I used the vellum, and again, that's that 3 by 4. So that's what I've cut this DSP is 3 by 4. But I thought we would make it pop a little bit, and so I have added a piece of Evening Evergreen, which is 3 1/8 by 4 1/8. Just to give that extra layer and a little bit of richness behind it, which I really am loving. So it is an extra layer of cardstock. And I know that not everyone has all the colors, or you know, you're trying to make your products go a little bit further. You could always cut out the middle of this layer and use it for something else. I always do that with my foil, but there's no reason you can't do that with your cardstock as well, right? You could, you know, punch out the middle to use for something else. And then this is going to go on here. Now, I am going to use some ribbon. So because I've added this extra layer, on the original card, the ribbon goes all the way around to the front. Now I have the option, because I've added this extra layer, to not have the ribbon go all the way around the front. So we can use slightly less ribbon. You won't see it when you open the card. Some people, I don't really care, but I know some people probably think that looks a little bit messy if your recipient can then see like the back of the ribbon. So I'm gonna actually tie it on here. So this is this beautiful, the in color ribbon that carried over in all the colors in this beautiful sheer, I don't know what they call this. Open weave is what they call it. Okay, so we're just gonna tie ourselves a bow. I was watching Rhonda Wade tie a bow today, and it was so seamless. And I was like, wow, that was really fast and good. And she held her finger to hold the knot. It was pretty amazing. Okay, find my ribbon scissors. I find, especially with this type of ribbon, you do need to make sure you are using your good scissors. Otherwise, it just keeps fraying over and over and over. You will lose lots of ribbon to fray. We could have had a slightly larger bow, but it's okay. We'll go with it. They had a beautiful Evening Evergreen ribbon last year that I also really loved. It wasn't sheer like this. It was like a chevron weave. I kept it. Shh, don't tell anyone. Okay, so now this will mount on here. I'm not gonna put it down yet because we haven't figured out our sentiment. And so I might want to remove the ribbon. Hello, Sandy. I'm also thinking, so in this card, I felt like the back was a bit plain. So I ended up embossing across the top. And I was thinking we could do that again. So we could do it instead of with the snowflakes, which I get a lot of use out of. we could do it with the pine boughs, which I don't get nearly the same use out of, but I'm just trying to envision if I will like that look. I also want to say my husband went to pick up my son from field lacrosse, which was, you know, in the pouring rain, and then he said it was snowing there, and I was like, oh, that seems less than awesome. Yeah, I don't know. That might be too busy. I'm trying to get a good sense of whether I like it or not. Doesn't seem terrible. We could try it. What's the worst that's gonna happen? I don't love it? Okay, so I'm just gonna line this up. Now, I'm gonna keep that out like that. Okay. So I'm gonna just put this through Crash, the Big Shot. Or the cut and emboss, but I don't have a cut and emboss, so for me it's the Big Shot. At least not a big one. I have the small one. Oh, it's pretty subtle. Okay. There we go. So we have that. We have this, which we could put this piece down. That's not gonna change. So let's go ahead. When I did the other one, I did tear tape. This one I'm actually just going to do with the Seal Plus. I just don't want this to come off, right? I don't use my Seal Plus nearly as much as I used to use the Fast Fuse, which was their older version of a super strong adhesive, which took me forever to get used to, and then I loved it. So I suspect this one will be the same. It'll take me forever to get used to, then I'll love it, and then they'll change. Okay, so that's gonna go like that. This is gonna go on here like this. We could color the berries. I'm still decided on that. And then, so what I did here on this first card is I used this from this Framed and Festive, Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas. I stamped it, I heat embossed with the white, and then I just cut a little tag. And so I just thought, I liked that it was just simple and cute. Wasn't anything too fancy. But here I was thinking, this kind of seems like a may the season be filled with peace and joy kind of card. And I was wondering, so this paper is part of this collection that comes with these oval dies, which are beautiful. And so of course I suspect you're seeing lots of those. I'm not using the dies in the class I'm doing. I am just using this stamp set and the paper and the embellishments. But I've got a few ovals already cut out. So I kind of was wondering what it would look like if we did this as an oval. We could even frame it because, you know, I've got a frame, but that won't work with the ribbon unless, wait for it people, see, this is why we could do the ribbon, move it down, do the oval. Maybe not the frame though, might be too much going on. Let's see. What do you think? Is the frame and the oval, is that too much? I mean, it covers up a lot of the DSP. Or Or do we like that? I kind of, yeah, you know what? Maybe it's okay. What do you guys think? And then I think we would stamp this in Evening Evergreen. We could have some fun with this, actually. Okay. Let's do this. Let's do it. Let's do it. And then I'm going to show you what else I'm thinking. So I've got out my Evening Evergreen. Stamp this up. So I'm always going to check. It's pretty centered on my red rubber, so then I will just be able to center it in the oval. It's very pretty. And now, if we wanted to, we could bring out a third color, especially if we were going to color those berries, and we could stamp the Peace and Joy again on another piece of white and then fussy cut it and put it over top, which I think would look really pretty. We might not. Okay, so what I'm going to do here, so this is this little trick I've been doing with this, is I have been... You're gonna big shot till the handle falls off. Yes, and it is, you're right, it is a double jelly bean today because I was on earlier just talking about my class. Sometimes it is just easier to show your face than to type everything up. Although then I did type up all my November specials, which I'm pretty excited about. Okay, so I want these to stay together. I'm going to use dimensionals to do that. So you could use washi tape. You could do all sorts of things. So I'm going to do this. So now I'm actually going to, I'm not going to put any dimensionals on this side because it's going to hang off of that a little bit. But I am going to put one here. And then I'm gonna sort of put one a little bit further in like that, because then that's gonna go like that. This water is making me nervous, folks. Whatever this water sound is, I need my husband to come home and hear it. You know how sometimes you're the only one and you're like, then you wonder if you're just losing it? Okay, so we've got that. You know what we could do though here, if I'm not gonna color them? We could just bring out our Wink of Stella and just make these berries sparkle. When in doubt, Wink of Stella. You can't ever really go wrong with Wink of Stella. That's my theory. Okay. Then this guy is just gonna go on top of there. It's actually really pretty. I always put an extra bit of glue right on the ribbon and on either side of it. And then we need to center on here. The beauty of the liquid multi-purpose is I have a little bit of wiggle room to make sure my borders look good. Okay, so do you see how simple that actually was? And like, look at how beautiful that card is, you guys. So let's add some gems because that's what we do. Now, we could use the gems that come with this, which are gold. These beautiful gold adhesive backed swirls. So they are, these are only available now until the end, well, the beginning of January. or while supplies last. So if they sell out, that's it. Too bad, so sad, they're gone. Okay. Sometimes I like the idea of putting something in here, but then sometimes I feel like it's too much. So I am definitely open to you guys' suggestions. I think I don't love that there. I might decide actually these guys are too big. What I might actually do, I love these, don't get me wrong, but I think this would be a great time to use the beautiful in color opal rounds, which you can see I haven't used very many of. So we're gonna use these instead. They come in both colors. We can use 2 sizes. So I might use, if you watch my videos, you know this is always where I'm kind of like, do I put it here? Do I put it there? Should I use 2? Should I use 3? And I hum and haw about the embellishments. It's just what I do. So please jump in with your suggestions. I am always open to suggestions. See up there, you can't really see that guy. A white or a rhinestone would be better. Yeah, maybe. That's where, or does it even need any, right? Maybe it doesn't need any. I don't know. I don't want to, this is a problem. I don't want this video to go on and on because I couldn't decide where to put the embellishments. So I actually don't mind that there. I might leave those. I don't really like that big guy though. Anyway, we're just gonna call it a night there. We're gonna put those 2 down there. I like to do things in 3s, but we'll see. You'll see what I absolutely end up deciding when I post the picture. But I don't mind just that, so I might just leave it at that. So thank you guys, and hopefully anyone who is curious about this design gets a chance to tune in, and then they can see how simple it is and how beautiful it can be. And if you decide to make this, I would love to see what you come up with. And if you live in Canada and you're interested in this online class to go that I'm doing with this framed and festive, this is not one of the designs, then by all means, check out my events. You have until tomorrow to register. And of course, if you're not, there's always the PDF. So have a great night. Hopefully it is not totally terrible and wintry where you are. And until the next time, thanks guys.